Hello, welcome back to another video tutorial here at GeekatPlay Studios. My name's Gary Miller. I was sitting around yesterday thinking about the cool images that we've seen over the last couple of years of the Matrix and how people have recreated that green and black background with that Matrix font. And I wanted to see how to do that, so I went over to Renderosity and looked into their tutorials over there, and they had a nice matrix tutorial showing how to make it all in Photoshop. And I thought that's a nice start. I wonder what we can do if we expand that idea and bring it into view. So I was playing around this morning, and this is what I came up with, just as a rough idea. And I really like it. It certainly possesses a lot of possibility, and it actually rendered extremely quickly based on the I think it was 1100 by 825 dimensions, and I had ultra settings, and I had everything maxed out. So this is what I came up with in just a short amount of time, and this is the view. And yeah, no, there's no hexagon in this one. This is the view tutorial that we're going to go through today to make this project. And to begin with, I'm going to start off here in Photoshop, and I created a new image. I made it 10 inches by 10 inches, and I'm going to come up here to my font. Now the font that I'm going to use I got here at freefont.com, and you might want to go there yourself and check it out. The font I'm going to use is called Electro Harmonics, and it's a matrix font that you see from the movie. So I'm going to grab my text tool, and inside of here I'm just going to hold down left click and drag a box around in there like that. I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to select 12 point size should work, and I'm just going to create a bunch of random keystrokes and make it look matrixy like. And I'm just going to do this for a couple lines, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here I've created a bunch of lines. I ended up changing my point size to 8 because I wanted to add more text. So that's enough text for me. I'm going to come up here, select it all, right click, copy it, come back down here and paste that. Come back and keep selecting, copy. I'll add a few extra character spaces between there. Copy that. Now I don't have to sit and spend an hour creating all this text manually. Paste that. Now this should just about do it. Nope, maybe not. That should be enough. Oh, let's paste the rest. There we go. Okay, we've got our matrix background. Now what I want to do is just to stretch it till it comes off. I want to bring it off the edge of the page so it matches, so it stretches, the font stretches to the far ends of my background image here. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and validate that. I'm going to hit Control E to merge that whole file together. I'm going to create a background image. I'm going to come up here to blur or filter, blur. I'm going to add a Gaussian blur to it. 3.1 pixels should be good. I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm done with that. I'm going to come up here to File. I'm going to save this, and I'll save it as a JPEG, and I will name it Alpha Matrix Alpha. You can call it whatever you want. I'll hit yes. And it doesn't need to be that great. I hit OK, and we are done here in Photoshop. Now let's come in here to View. So here we are in View. First thing I want to do is come over to my atmospheres. I want to click, select my complete black atmosphere. Now I think this one came with View, or it might have been one that I made. I don't remember, but we'll go through the settings in the atmosphere and you can create your own. I'm just using standard lighting. These are my light intensity. These are my light intensity, lighting balance. Sky is set to complete black. I have no clouds, fog and haze. I have zeroed everything out in that, and wind and effects. I have nothing. And sun. We're not even going to use the sun, so that doesn't matter. So those are my Those are my atmosphere settings. You can pause it and see what they are. I'm going to come over here to my ground plane. I'm going to delete that. Now over here, I'm going to create a plane, just a flat plane, and it orients it horizontally. I want to grab it and I want to make it vertical like that. I'm going to expand it. Let me create a layer and start putting all these things on it. And I'm going to come up here and select a color. I'm going to choose gray. And I want a darker gray, almost completely black, but not entirely. And let's move it back just a wee bit. Okay, now I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to click on my color and alpha. I want to apply that alpha image that we created. Actually, I want to hit basic material editor. I'm going to come over here to alpha. I'm going to click on my arrow here, and I'm just going to load that alpha image that we created in Photoshop. And give it a moment to load. Okay, this is what it presents us with. It hides the background and only shows the letters. Well, we want to show the background but hide the letters. So I'm going to click on this invert button here. Now you'll be able to see that my matrix letters will come through from the back. I'm going to set that down here. I'm going to create a, what is this called, a area light? I think that's what it is. It's an area light, point light. I'm going to create a point light, put it behind. I want to enable my volumetric lighting. One thing I forgot to do is on my plane, I want to set it to object parametric. There we are. And this is my point light. I want to move it down here. I want to change its color to a, I don't know, something that looks like it would have come from the movie. Let me bump up the setting of it so we can see our results. Now with my plane, I'm going to hit Control D and duplicate it. Let me zoom in here. And I'm going to pull it forward and offset it from my first one just a little bit. And you see immediately the difference that it creates here. Let me move it a little bit closer. There we are. Now I'm going to click on my second plane, and I'm going to rotate the text on it so it's vertical. Because if you recall from the movie The Matrix, the text going up and down was vertical. Okay, let's do a quick little render here. Render to screen, 640 by 480. And this is what we've got so far. I kind of like it, but we need to bump up the lighting a little bit. So I'm going to, let's try 800. And I'm going to bring my light a little closer. And I'm just going to check my preview window here, get an idea on where I am. I want to enable lens flare. I'm going to bump the lens flare up all the way, random streaks, reflections. I want everything in here. Let's see what we've got. All right, now it's starting to come through a little bit more. to click on my volumetric lighting tab. I'm going to increase the quality boost, and sure, I'll show some smoke and dust in the light beams also. Maybe bump up the brightness of it. There we are. Alright, I probably want it coming down a little bit. See what happens if I move it back a bit. Alright, now I'm going to come over here to my, whatever this is. I think this is import items. And I'm just going to grab this fairy that I believe came with View. I'm going to put my fairy here in my scene. I would use a poser object, but this certainly is enough to illustrate the image I'm trying to create here. And I'm going to click on her hierarchy. I'm going to remove her eyelashes, don't need those. I'm going to remove her wings, get rid of her teeth, her tongue, pupil, and the iris. I'm going to come over here, double click on that. I want to change textures. Now I have some X-ray mats that I got at GeekatPlay Studios, and I'm going to use this first one here. Select that, click OK. And I want to right click up here now on my X-ray texture, and I want to assign it to the entire object. I'm going to move her over to the side, and I want to create a point light that's going to shine on her. I'm going to go to my first point light that is behind our matrix planes. I'm going to right click, copy that light color. I'm going to copy that, come down here to this new light that I created, and I'm going to paste that color in there. I'm going to come down here to this icon, whatever it is, come over here to influence. I only want that light to illuminate her, so I'm going to select this option right here, which says only objects marked below. I'm going to select my fairy. Now that light will only illuminate her and not the background matrix planes. So I'm going to render here, and let's see what we've got so far. Alright, this is our rough crude render so far. I'm going to make a few more adjustments. Select her, bring her in. This is a fairly graphic model. Some people might be turned off by that. It does show a well-defined pubic region, so I'm just going to bring her down to hide her privates. Rotate her a little bit. I can just imagine some of the things you folks could come up with if you used a poser image, a poser figure, instead of this. You got a lot more flexibility. Alright, I'm going to come over here to my point light that I created, and I want to move it around and maybe a little closer, see what I come up with. I'm just getting some ideas here by looking at my preview window. Let's increase the brightness of that. There we are, 5,000. One of the things I like doing that I found extremely useful is when I am positioning a light in a scene like this, sometimes it's hard to see exactly what effect I am having by moving the light around. So if I increase the power of the light to just an ungodly level, it shows me immediately and very quickly what effect I am having by moving my light around. Now once I like the way it has illuminated the object that I want it to illuminate, now I can cut it. Now I can cut the power down and render from there. So I'm going to pause it right here while it's rendering. Be right back. Okay, this is a quick crude render. I think I'm going to pivot her just a little bit more. And I think what I want to do is I want to increase the size of these matrix planes. I don't want the text quite so small. let's move that back a little bit. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to render away and I'll be right back. Okay, this is turning out really cool. Because we increased the background planes, that means the larger these apertures are for the characters have been made, and therefore more light is coming through, so it's making the volumetric light a little larger. So I think I'm going to move my light down. Oops. I'm going to move my light down a bit. Okay, I've moved my light down a little bit, and I've increased the brightness on her just a tad. I'll do one more render. So there you go. There's a really cool sci-fi matrix image using Photoshop and View. Now, one of the things I did when I was experimenting, playing around with this, when I was in Photoshop and I was creating the text to use as our alpha image, before I blurred it, one of the things I did is I just used the rectangular marquee tool, and I just selected various areas of the text here, and I masked it off. And then when I applied my Gaussian blur, it blurred everything, all the text, except the areas that I had protected with my mask. Then when I rendered it, the areas that I had preserved in Photoshop were nice and clear, where everything else around it was blurred. So that was a cool little technique. I didn't do it here on this one. And it certainly drew your attention in because of its sharper focus. I didn't do that here, but it was a cool idea, and if you play around with it, you might come up with some results that you like. So this is a sci-fi image created here in View and Photoshop. So thanks for watching here at GeekatPlay Studios. My name's Gary Miller. Have a good day.